Hey guys, so today we're making some sweet and smoky salmon. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the video. And so this salmon was absolutely delicious. Perfect meal for the fall, for meal prep, for any weeknight dinner. This was absolutely delicious, you guys. And so I'm going to start by peeling 2 sweet potatoes, or you can use any type of potato you want, whether that's Idaho, red potato, yellow potato. It's whatever you want. You can even do mashed potatoes or rice if you want. And so I am just going to cut my potatoes in some decent sized chunks because we are going to roast these in the oven. And so I'm just going to put them in a bowl, and I am going to wash my potatoes. You want to make sure that you wash your potatoes because they are dirty, okay? And so after I've washed them, I'm just going to lay out some paper towel and I'm going to dry off the excess liquid because we want our potatoes to get nice and crispy in the oven. So I'm going to drizzle some olive oil on here, or you can use avocado oil. I'm seasoning it with some salt, some pepper, and I'm keeping the seasonings pretty simple. I'm going to use some smoked paprika. You can use onion powder, garlic powder, but you want to keep the seasonings pretty neutral. And I think sweet potatoes have a natural sweetness. And if you were to put like butter on, not butter, like brown sugar or something on here, it would actually burn. So that's probably something you would do towards the end if you wanted a sweeter roasted sweet potato. But I'm gonna put this on this little rack and I'm gonna put it in a 400-degree oven, and I'm gonna bake it for about 20 minutes. And so while that is roasting, I'm gonna start on the seasoning blend for our salmon. And so I'm just using some salt. I have this chicken seasoning, or you can use any all-purpose seasoning that you like. I'm gonna go in with some black pepper, some basil leaves, or you can use like Italian seasoning if you want. I'm going to add in some dill weed because dill goes really well with salmon or fish. I have some onion powder that I'm going to put in here. I'm also going to add in some garlic powder. But I'm going for like a sweet and smoky vibe. And so I'm going to add some smoked paprika. You can put some chili powder on here if you wanted to. And so for the sweet factor, I'm going to use some brown sugar. And so this is the Splenda brown sugar because we are watching our sugar intake, but you can use regular brown sugar if you'd like. And so I'm just going to mix this all together, and this is going to be the seasoning for our salmon. And so I did check our potatoes after the 20 minutes just to flip them over, and then I'm going to put it back in the oven for another 20 minutes. And so next we're going to move on to our salmon. And so I got this big fillet from Sam's Club, and so it's about 2.5 pounds of fresh salmon. And so I'm just going to slice this into individual fillets, or you can make this whole if you want to. I just thought it would be easier to just cut it into individual portions in the beginning. But again, you can put the whole thing in there as is. And this little piece is just gonna be that. So yeah. And so I am using this. I can't believe it's not butter spray, but obviously you can use regular butter if you want. And so I'm just going to lay the fillets out on this baking sheet that I've lined with some aluminum foil. And then I'm actually going to spray the fillets themselves with this I can't believe it's not butter spray. And then I'm going to generously season our fish on both sides. And so I did forget to put the Dijon mustard on the first side, but I'm going to put it on this next side. I saw it on a different recipe where they put the Dijon mustard, and so I was like, well, that sounds really good, so I'm gonna try that. I've never put mustard on my fish, but it sounds good, unless it was fried. That's the only time I put mustard on it. But anyway, so I put the Dijon mustard on there, and then I put that seasoning blend that we made on here. And Sydney wanted to say hi, of course. And so I'm gonna place our salmon in a 400-degree oven, and I am gonna let that bake for about 15 minutes. And so our potatoes are done and our fish is done. And so I just garnished it with some green onion, and make sure you top it with some fresh lemon juice just to brighten it up a bit. But this is the finished product. I served it with these roasted potatoes and some asparagus. Excuse the asparagus, they were frozen asparagus, so the texture was not the best on the asparagus, so disregard that. But the fish was nice and flaky, so flavorful, so delicious. Oh my goodness, this hit all the right notes for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.